The world you experience is nothing more than a reflection of the assumptions you hold within yourself. Every event, every interaction, and every circumstance that unfolds in your life is simply an outpicturing of the beliefs you carry, whether consciously or unconsciously. Your external reality is not something separate from you, nor is it dictated by chance or external forces beyond your control. It is a direct response to the thoughts and assumptions that dominate your inner world. If you believe yourself to be fortunate, opportunities seem to appear effortlessly. If you assume yourself to be unlucky, difficulties seem to multiply. The world does not determine your state of being, rather your state of being determines the world you see. Your assumptions are not idle thoughts, they are living forces that shape and mold the conditions of your life. Whatever you persistently assume to be true, whether positive or negative, must express itself in your reality. You are not bound by past experiences, nor are you at the mercy of circumstances. Instead, you are shaping your reality moment by moment through the beliefs you accept as true. If you accept lack, you will experience lack. If you accept abundance, you will see abundance flow into your life. This is not a matter of wishful thinking, it is an immutable law of consciousness. Your assumptions harden into fact because the outer world is merely an echo of the inner world. Every person you encounter, every opportunity that arises, every challenge you face is a reflection of the state you habitually occupy. If you find yourself repeatedly encountering rejection, disappointment, or struggle, it is not because the world is against you. It is because, at some level, you have accepted these experiences as your truth. Likewise, those who seem to move through life effortlessly, attracting success and fulfillment, are not luckier than others. They simply dwell in a state of expectancy that aligns with their desires. They assume good things will come, and so they do. This is the unseen mechanism behind all success and failure, behind all joy and suffering. Your assumptions operate whether you are aware of them or not. Many people walk through life unaware that they are creating their reality through the thoughts they entertain and the emotions they cultivate. They react to circumstances believing themselves to be victims of fate, when in truth they are the authors of their experience. It is not enough to wish for change. You must assume the feeling of the desired state and persist in it until it becomes natural. The moment you truly accept a new assumption, reality begins to shift in ways seen and unseen to bring about its fulfillment. If you want to transform your life, you must first transform your inner conversation. The words you speak to yourself, the images you hold in your mind, and the emotions you dwell in all contribute to the assumptions that shape your world. If you constantly affirm limitation, you will experience limitation. If you habitually assume success, you will encounter success. Your mind is the soil in which all manifestations grow. Plant seeds of doubt and you will harvest uncertainty. Plant seeds of confidence and you will reap abundance. The choice is always yours, for you are the creator of your reality, whether you acknowledge it or not. When you understand that reality is a mirror of your inner state, you cease to struggle against external conditions. You no longer try to force change in the outer world, for you realize that true change happens within. The key is not to fight circumstances, but to shift your assumptions. If you assume yourself to be worthy, you will be treated as such. If you assume yourself to be unwanted, you will find evidence to confirm it. The world merely reflects what you assume to be true about yourself and your place in it. This is the secret behind every great success and every great failure. It all begins within. The power of assumption is always at work, whether for your benefit or your detriment. If you allow your mind to be filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, you will unknowingly manifest experiences that reinforce those beliefs. But if you deliberately choose to assume the best, to expect the highest, and to dwell in the certainty of your desires fulfilled, the world has no choice but to conform. It does not matter what your present circumstances appear to be, they are only a reflection of past assumptions. The moment you change your assumption, the world begins to shift accordingly. To create the life you desire, you must become aware of the assumptions you hold and consciously revise them to align with your goals. If you wish to experience love, assume yourself to be deeply loved. If you wish to attract prosperity, assume yourself to be prosperous. Do not wait for the world to change before you do. Assume first, and the world will follow. It is a law that never fails. There is nothing to force, nothing to chase, and nothing to struggle against. The idea that you must fight, push, and strain to achieve what you desire is an illusion created by the mind. Manifestation is not about effort, it is about alignment. The more you struggle, the further you push your desires away. Struggle implies lack, and lack is only a state of consciousness. When you fight against your current circumstances, you are reinforcing them. You are telling yourself and the world that what you desire is not yet yours. But the truth is, everything you seek is already within you, waiting to be accepted. The moment you stop resisting, the moment you relax into the knowing that all is well, things begin to move effortlessly in your favor. There is a natural flow to life, an effortless unfolding that happens when you allow yourself to let go. The ocean does not struggle to reach the shore. The stars do not fight to shine, and the trees do not strain to grow. They simply allow themselves to be, trusting in the unseen forces that guide them. In the same way, when you release the need to control, you open yourself to the infinite intelligence that is always working in your favor. You do not need to figure out how everything will happen. You do not need to map out every step. The path reveals itself when you relax, when you stop grasping and start trusting. Holding on to struggle is a habit, one that has been ingrained through years of conditioning. Society teaches that hard work and sacrifice are the only paths to success, that suffering is a necessary part of achievement. But the truth is, the most powerful manifestations come not from force, but from ease. When you relax, you allow energy to flow freely. You become receptive to inspiration, to opportunities that guide you toward your desire. The more you force, the more resistance you create. The more you relax, the more you allow. Letting go of struggle does not mean doing nothing. It means acting from a place of peace rather than desperation. It means aligning your actions with the certainty that what you desire is already yours, rather than acting from a place of fear that it may never come. There is a vast difference between inspired action and forced effort. Inspired action feels natural, effortless, and guided. Forced effort feels draining, stressful, and full of doubt. When you are relaxed, you become a magnet for the right actions, the right people, and the right circumstances that align with your vision. Tension and anxiety push your desires further away. When you obsess over outcomes, when you question whether it is working, when you doubt and fear, you are blocking the very thing you seek. Worry is the mind's way of trying to control what is already being taken care of. But the truth is, nothing needs to be controlled. The same force that moves the stars, that turns the seasons, that breathes life into every living thing, is the same force that will bring your desires into being. When you trust this, when you allow yourself to sink into the certainty that all is unfolding perfectly, you release the barriers that stand between you and your manifestation. The feeling of already having what you desire is the secret to effortless manifestation. When you relax into the state of having, rather than wanting, you send a clear signal that it is already yours. When you feel abundant, you attract abundance. When you feel love, you attract love. But when you feel desperate, when you feel as though something is missing, you are reinforcing the very lack you wish to escape. It is not about pretending or forcing yourself to feel differently. It is about deeply knowing that you are already in possession of all that you seek. This knowing comes not from force, but from surrender. The moment you let go of struggle, you allow yourself to enter a state of flow. Life begins to unfold in ways you could not have planned, in ways that seem almost magical. The opportunities, the resources, the people, the ideas, all of it appears when you stop resisting and start allowing. The tension in your body eases. Your mind becomes clear and your spirit feels light. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself or to force results, because you have stepped into the truth that everything is already working in your favor. This is not wishful thinking. It is the natural order of creation. Every great transformation begins with surrender. The moment you stop forcing, the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop fearing that you will never have what you desire, everything begins to shift. You do not need to earn your manifestations. You do not need to struggle for what is already yours. All that is required is for you to relax, to release the tension, and to step into the certainty that what you have asked for is already on its way. It is only when you let go that you finally allow it to arrive. The secret to bringing anything into your life lies in your ability to feel it as real now. It is not enough to wish, to hope, or to daydream about what you desire. You must enter the state of the wish fulfilled and live from that place, mentally and emotionally, before it can materialize in your external world. The world you experience is merely a reflection of your inner state, and that inner state is dictated by what you feel to be true. If you continue to feel lack, delay, or doubt, you are affirming that your desire is something separate from you. But when you fully embrace the feeling of already having it, the external world has no choice but to conform to that assumption. Your emotions are the bridge between imagination and reality. They are the energy that fuels your manifestations, shaping the circumstances of your life. If you can feel something to be real with absolute certainty, even before your physical senses confirm it, then it must appear. The world cannot deny you what you have already claimed within. Every great success, every seemingly miraculous transformation has come from the ability to inhabit a reality within before it becomes visible without. Those who achieve great things do not wait for evidence. They feel their success as real long before it is acknowledged by the world. It is not about pretending or forcing a feeling that does not exist. It is about allowing yourself to naturally enter the state of already having. The mind does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. Whatever you persistently assume to be true, your subconscious mind accepts as fact. If you can lose yourself in the experience of already being the person you wish to be, already having the things you desire, already living in the reality you seek, then you will draw it to you effortlessly. The only thing that delays manifestation is the doubt and resistance that arise from feeling separate from what you desire. The key is to immerse yourself in the feeling as though it were happening right now. What would it feel like to have the life you desire? How would you walk, speak, think, and carry yourself if you knew without a doubt that everything you wanted was already yours? Dwell in that feeling, not just for fleeting moments, but as a permanent state of being. Let the joy, the confidence, the relief, and the gratitude fill you now, not in some distant future. The more real it feels to you internally, the faster it must take shape externally. This is not about hoping it will happen. It is about knowing it has already happened. Many people sabotage their desires by continuously checking for signs, by questioning whether it is working, or by feeling frustrated that they do not yet see physical proof. But this only reinforces the feeling of not having, which in turn creates more of the same. The moment you feel something is missing, you push it further away. Instead, let your dominant feeling be one of fulfillment, of certainty, of deep inner satisfaction. When you make this shift, you move from waiting to receiving, from hoping to knowing. The difference may seem subtle, but it is the only thing that truly matters. You must become so absorbed in the experience of your wish fulfilled that it becomes more real to you than anything else. Let go of the need for external confirmation. The moment you require proof, you are stepping out of the state of having and into the state of lacking. True manifestation happens when you trust the unseen, when you embrace the invisible reality within you as though it were already visible. It is this unwavering faith, this absolute conviction that shapes the world around you. Those who wait for evidence before believing will always be stuck in waiting. Those who believe first will always see their belief made manifest. Your only job is to remain faithful to the feeling of already having. Circumstances do not matter, time does not matter, and appearances do not matter. What matters is your ability to sustain the inner conviction that your desire is already a reality. There is no need to force anything, no need to struggle, no need to chase. The moment you feel it is real, the moment you dwell in that state as naturally as you dwell in the present moment, the outer world will shift to reflect it. It is an immutable law, one that never fails, one that has worked for every person who has ever dared to assume the truth of their desires. When you master the ability to feel your wish fulfilled, you step into the realm of effortless creation. Everything begins within, and everything moves according to your assumption. You do not need to know how it will happen or when it will happen. You only need to know that it has already happened. Feel it now, live in that state now, and the world will bend to reflect it. When you set your heart upon a desire, the greatest mistake you can make is to concern yourself with how it will unfold. The mind, conditioned by the world, is trained to seek logic, to analyze steps, and to demand answers before it believes something is possible. But manifestation does not work through logic. It works through faith. The moment you start questioning how something will come to pass, you introduce doubt. And doubt is the very thing that keeps your desire at a distance. Your only responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The rest is already in motion, moving through unseen channels far beyond your comprehension. Trying to figure out the how is a form of control, and control is rooted in fear. It is the belief that if you do not intervene, if you do not force things into place, they will not happen. But creation does not work through struggle. It works through surrender. The very energy of grasping, of searching for answers, signals to your subconscious mind that you do not truly believe in your desire. If you knew with absolute certainty that what you desire is already yours, you would not waste a moment questioning the process. You would move with confidence, resting in the assurance that it must come to pass in the most effortless way possible. The human mind is limited. It can only perceive what is familiar, what is logical, what it has experienced before. But the unseen intelligence that governs all things is not bound by such limitations. It operates in ways that the rational mind cannot predict. The most extraordinary manifestations happen in ways that no one could have planned. They unfold through a series of coincidences, unexpected opportunities, and perfect timing that no amount of effort could have orchestrated. That is why worrying about the how is futile. It is attempting to solve a puzzle with missing pieces, pieces that only reveal themselves when you release control. When you insist on knowing how something will happen, you narrow your possibilities. You limit yourself to the paths you can see, rather than allowing infinite intelligence to work through means you have not yet imagined. The very act of trying to control the process puts you in a state of resistance, making it harder for your desire to materialize. But when you let go of the need to know, when you rest in the feeling of already having what you seek, you allow life to unfold in the most effortless, natural way. The right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances will align without force, without struggle, without confusion. Every great manifestation has happened through trust, not through effort. Those who have achieved the impossible did not do so by worrying about the mechanics of how it would happen. They simply believed. They lived in the end, feeling as if their desires were already a part of their reality. The world then conspired to reflect their inner conviction, arranging itself in ways they could have never predicted. This is the power of surrender. It is not inaction, it is the highest form of action, for it moves beyond the limits of the logical mind and into the realm of infinite possibilities. Doubt is the only thing that can delay what is already meant for you, and doubt arises when you concern yourself with the details of how, when, and where. These questions only serve to pull you out of alignment with your desire, causing you to waver between faith and fear. But the moment you release these concerns, the moment you fully surrender and trust that what you desire is already done, the path clears. Everything moves smoothly, effortlessly, as if the entire universe is rearranging itself to accommodate your assumption. And it is. It always has been. The only thing that ever stood in the way was your own resistance. There is nothing you need to chase, nothing you need to force. Your role in creation is not to figure out the path, but to assume the feeling of already having arrived. That is the secret. That is the only thing that matters. The moment you step into that knowing, you become a magnet for everything that is already yours. The how takes care of itself. The people, the opportunities, the events, they will all move into place as if by some unseen hand. You are not responsible for the details. You are only responsible for the state you dwell in. There is a force greater than you, greater than your worries, greater than your doubts. It knows the shortest, most effortless path to bring you exactly what you seek. You do not need to understand it, you only need to trust it. The mind will try to intervene, to analyze, to demand proof. But you must rise above these distractions. The moment you let go of the how and dwell fully in the feeling of your desire already being fulfilled, you allow the unseen forces to do what they do best. Deliver your reality in the most effortless way possible. To manifest what you desire, you must learn to live in the end. This means assuming with absolute certainty that what you seek is already yours. You must not see your desire as something distant, something to be attained in the future, but as something you already possess in the present moment. The world you experience is merely a reflection of your inner state. If you persist in feeling as though you are lacking, waiting, or striving, then that is the reality you will continue to create. But if you shift your consciousness to the state of already having, of already being, then life must conform to that assumption. The mind is conditioned to believe in the evidence of the senses, but the truth is that the senses merely confirm what you have already accepted within. If you continue to react to what you see, to what appears to be real, then you remain bound to those circumstances. But the moment you close your eyes to the outer world and dwell in the reality of your fulfilled desire, you take control of creation. Your imagination is the tool by which you shape your life. It is not some idle daydreaming, it is the very foundation upon which all external circumstances are built. The moment you allow yourself to fully embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the outer world begins to shift in ways beyond your comprehension. Living in the end requires faith, a conviction so strong that you no longer concern yourself with appearances. It is the unwavering belief that what you desire is already done, even when the physical world has yet to reflect it. The impatient mind may try to interfere, seeking signs, questioning the process, or doubting whether it is working. But true mastery comes from knowing that once you have assumed something to be true within, it must be expressed without. The moment you dwell in the feeling of having it, rather than the longing for it, you have already set the process into motion. Many people sabotage their manifestations by constantly looking for proof. They wake up each day wondering if anything has changed, if their desire is any closer, if they are on the right path. But this very act of searching implies that they do not yet have what they seek, and as long as they feel they do not have it, they will continue to experience not having. The secret is to abandon the search, to let go of the need for signs, and to fully assume that their wish is already a reality. The ones who manifest with ease are not those who force things to happen, but those who simply live as though their desires are already fulfilled. When you live in the end, you carry yourself differently. You walk with confidence, you think from a place of fulfillment, and you act in harmony with the reality you have claimed within. The mind may resist at first, clinging to old patterns of doubt and fear, but persistence in the new assumption will eventually override the old conditioning. Reality is not fixed. It is fluid, shaped by the state of consciousness you dwell in most consistently. If you can maintain the feeling of already having what you desire, then nothing can stand in the way of its manifestation. Living in the end does not mean ignoring the present moment or pretending that the external world does not exist. It means fully embodying the state of your fulfilled desire in your inner world, regardless of what is happening externally. You do not need to force anything. nor do you need to manipulate circumstances. The world will take care of itself. It will move according to the assumptions you hold. When you stop chasing, stop doubting, and stop resisting, you allow the unseen forces to work on your behalf. You are not responsible for the details of how things will unfold. You are only responsible for sustaining the inner feeling of already having. There is no need to worry about time, about obstacles, or about what others may say. Time is merely a reflection of your inner state, and obstacles only exist when you perceive them as such. The only thing that matters is the certainty with which you claim your desire. If you waver between faith and doubt, your reality will waver as well. But if you persist in the knowing that it is already yours, if you refuse to entertain any thought of lack or delay, then nothing can prevent it from manifesting. The law is absolute. It cannot fail. It only follows the dominant assumptions you hold within. You must become so convinced of your reality that nothing shakes you. You must move through life as though everything you desire is already yours. You do not beg, you do not plead, you do not wait. You simply live as though it is done, knowing that the external world must eventually reflect what you have already accepted internally. When you master this way of being, manifestation is no longer a struggle. It becomes effortless, natural, inevitable. There is a deep power in stillness, a force that does not require effort, struggle, or striving. In the silence of the mind, all things come to pass. When you still yourself, when you quiet the endless chatter of doubt, worry, and fear, you allow the deeper reality to emerge. The world outside may appear chaotic, unpredictable, and full of obstacles, but it is only a reflection of the turbulence within. The moment you cease to be moved by external conditions and rest in the awareness of your inner truth, everything begins to shift. Stillness is not passivity. It is the highest form of trust, the unwavering belief that all things are already in motion on your behalf. The mind has been conditioned to believe that action alone creates results, that without force and effort nothing will change. But true creation does not come from strain. It comes from knowing. The one who is still, who trusts in the unseen, holds an advantage over the one who constantly struggles to make things happen. When you enter the state of stillness, you connect with the infinite, with the power that governs all things. You do not need to figure out how your desires will manifest, nor do you need to manipulate circumstances to force them into being. The moment you trust in the unseen and remain unmoved by appearances, the external world must conform to your inner state. Doubt arises when you allow the outer world to dictate your inner reality. When you look at what is and let it convince you of what is possible, you limit yourself. But when you withdraw your attention from the external and rest in the feeling of your fulfilled desire, you transcend those limitations. Being still does not mean doing nothing. It means surrendering the need to control every detail. It means trusting that once you have assumed something to be true within, it must take shape in the physical world. The more you struggle, the more you affirm that what you want is not yet yours. But when you are still, when you know without question, you shift into a state where manifestation is effortless. To be still is to detach from doubt. It is to step into a place where the mind no longer wavers between faith and fear. It is easy to be swayed by appearances, to let the senses convince you that nothing is changing, that nothing is working. But the truth is that the unseen world is always moving, always aligning, always shifting in accordance with your assumptions. But the one who is still requires no confirmation, because they already know. They do not seek, they do not chase, they do not question. They rest in the conviction that all is already done. Stillness is the key to manifestation because it removes resistance. Resistance is created when the mind is caught in struggle, in worry, in disbelief. Every time you question whether it is working, every time you entertain fear, you create delay. But when you are still, when you hold no doubt, no fear, no resistance, you open the way for things to unfold naturally. It is not your job to control the process. It is only your job to believe. When you cease interfering, when you allow yourself to simply dwell in the end result, the path reveals itself. The less you try to force, the faster things come. The moment you release control, you allow the unseen forces to work on your behalf. Many people mistake stillness for inaction, but it is the most powerful action of all. It is the act of assuming, of believing, of knowing without needing proof. It is the act of stepping out of the realm of worry and into the realm of certainty. Those who live in stillness do not react to the world, they shape it. They move through life with confidence, not because they can see every step ahead, but because they trust that every step will be revealed in perfect time. They do not need to rush or push or struggle because they understand that everything is already in motion. Being still is a discipline, a practice that requires you to shift your focus inward. It demands that you let go of impatience, that you abandon the habit of doubting and second guessing. The moment you stop needing things to happen, they happen. The moment you stop looking for evidence, the evidence appears. The moment you stop seeking signs, the signs come effortlessly. To be still is to enter a state of complete faith, to let go of attachment to the outcome, to trust so deeply that nothing can shake you. When you reach this level of certainty, manifestation becomes inevitable. There is nothing more powerful than knowing, not hoping, not wishing, not wanting, knowing. When you reach this place of absolute trust, you no longer worry about how, when, or if. You no longer entertain doubts because you have already claimed your desire as reality. You do not chase, you do not fear, you do not hesitate, you simply know. And in that knowing, in that stillness, everything is brought to you.